Anyways, guys, we're going to the FNCS Day 2, and yeah, let's get into it.
Looks exactly Shiro. These guys don't think the Asian players just hate us. Why they all put it down? Oh my goodness. But look, if you expect anyone to deal with that pressure, especially when it comes to fighting, he's going to be in good shape.
Absolutely. Once again, from one Bugha to the other, Batman Bugha, Rapid, these guys, once again, it seems like as long as your name is Bugha in some capacity, the crowd's going to go wild. But Tactics seem like trying to farm some kind of damage here in the early game across what might be Acorn and Colt.
Right now, Sphinx and Dukes, they're just taking full advantage and applying a little bit of pressure on the teams at Redline Break. Keep in mind, if they do get a successful shield crack, they could always look to just try and turbo aggress. They've got that flaming boost tube right next to them, and Sphinx just seems to be prioritizing exclusively the surge tag damage threshold control.
How impressive of Swizzy and Yako to survive the drop. Trash correct about play. A lot of action down at the raft, so it is of course in their best interest to get loot and hit the road. Quite honestly, you don't want to stick around there given what can be in store. Cassie and Aspect clearly didn't want any more of that action as well, as they move somewhat north here to try to make the best of their strategy. The card is in the hands of Bryce and Bolt, who are just outside of it, so if they want to activate it, they will have to fight their way through this duo.
At the same time though, cloning Kranzu might be enough of a distraction factor. Bolt and Bryce are going to look to retreat just a little bit further east from where the forecast tower is currently at, but Vico and Flixie know that they've got the prime real estate currently. They don't want to allow for Bryce and Bolt to get a complete freebie for this forecast tower, but they might not have a choice. And even further still in the horizon, Thomas HD, Queasy, slight surge base on a hill just outside of Reckless Railways, but more importantly still, Thomas HD, he was on fire all day yesterday, especially with
into the box. Well played for them, and the Brazilian commentators are popping off on the desk right now for the Brazilian region. You'd love to see that for Ed and Persa here.
A lot of these players also looking for those confidence, the momentum swings that can make all the difference for these next few matches. Clear up day number 2 here, Chicho. Just strong connections off of that modern pistol. Meanwhile, Vico, Flixie find themselves a little bit of an aggressive situation here onto Clone, but with the team that knows Reckless Railways as expertly as Vico and Flixie, the split approach, they've managed to sandwich Clone in between them, and it looks like Kramzu might also be caught in the thick of it, but I like this pincer maneuver technique coming out of Vico and Flixie.
Yeah, it's working very well, but if this duo of Kramzu and Clone decide to collapse on one or the other, it can spell disaster. So we'll have to see what happens here. This is of course the Reckless Railways though. This is their home turf. Armored wall comes down. This is not good for Vico. I was gonna say they've cut off his backup. Flixie, look, has to work all the way around, and now he has to actually back off here. So definite mistakes being made right now. Forced to cap off HP here, given that he'll have to play this one out by himself for a couple of moments. Meanwhile, still a lurking duo nearby in CR's Michael. T1 job there. Anything can happen, but look at how Vico unfortunately gets caught off and out of position.
There's a lot of trust that's implemented into that split technique, but more importantly still, Clone and Kramzu, they're still having to fight their way out of the Reckless Railways. One elimination might not be enough. Our international regions fully understanding they're going to need more points to make their way up on the leaderboard standings. Kramzu, Clone, they've still got their eyes on the prize, I believe, but Job and Michael are not making it easy. Instead, they're going to track down Flixie, catching him from behind. That's a big pickup for Job there, saving his teammate's life.
CR Job, T1 Michael coming in, finding eliminations here. Clearly a new strategy being deployed for this duo here, given that yesterday was such a struggle for this team to get their feet off the ground. And now we're seeing a much slower approach as opposed to taking full-on head-to-head battles, almost lurking between the major drops, trying to find fights that are in action, working a lot better for them now.
But the bigger picture here at DF is that when you got our third place team going out this early on into the match, no placement points secured, and that is a massive deal because it gives so much opportunity. It opens the door for everyone else to try and squeeze their way inside of this. Kramson back against the wall, trying to see if he can work his way out, but it's not going to be enough. Michael with the collapse.
Had their dominating run on the region. Again, that Asian duo coming up, really making adjustments to their strategy. It's one of the best parts about the Day 2 format that we don't get to highlight enough, right? The teams that come in and start to adapt is what makes it so crucial to really pay attention to what is changing around you. But for Peterbot and Boyo, not much has changed given that they have continued to key their way into the Rift Island. This time they'll met with a lot more resistance. It's about the weakest we've seen them coming into mid-game, and I mean, it makes sense to have Zagu looking for a potential early exit here.
Ooh, that was a little bit of a whiff there out of Pollo. Was probably hoping to fully connect, but Pollo, he finishes what he started. Gets Friesen in the process, but finds himself getting immediately gobbled up by the deal. And now, a serious 1-versus-1 situation, but keep in mind, there's so many other teams surrounding Rift Island. Peterbot, he's just hoping that he can get the revive off.
Talk about an incredible savior, but Badial's not going to make it easy here. Orchard Wolf coming out. Peterbot is desperate and boxed up right now. Zagu is also just about putting in a couple of shots here, but things are going to slow down. And just when you thought it was over, they get saved here. Peterbot and Boyo are back in.
But at the cost of so many of their armored walls, Peterbot had to fully utilize practically everything he had saved up. And keep in mind, they still need heals. There's no shield, at least as far as Peterbot's loadout is concerned. Possibly Boyo is carrying a couple of small shield potions, but I'd have to guess not, considering that neither of them is bothered to recover. They're just trying to tango once more with the deal, but he will not budge.
Doing an excellent job here waiting for them. Knows it's still a 2v1, and Peterbot and Boyo still have very much full awareness of who's around them, but the tabs, they need more damage. They've run out of heals here. This is about the best case scenario for every other duo in the lobby if you want to win the globals, which we know very surely they do.
Encounter even more resistance from the other teams that are a little bit more established, a little bit more healthy as well, but Boyo, Peterbot, they try to mark it off in the first place, and they will break through the builds and manage to escape.
Hopefully they don't get targeted while they're flying by. A lot of teams here in the vicinity now. Peterbot going for the dive down. Boyo trying to scout where's the best spot there below the surge. They're gonna have to land and take a fight. It's all or nothing now. Peterbot tries to go for Dukes and Sphinx, and they're going for it, but Peterbot gets knocked. It's all up for radio now. Everything lies on him to keep the train going here. He's gonna find a lot of tags here, just enough to keep his team in the win down. They try to box up Peterbot. They want to finish his duo. He's not trying to give it away for free. He's actually fighting with all of his heart here, and they're running for him, trying to steal his duo away. And he's doing it.
No!
So almost takes down Dukes as well in an incredible exchange, and first place is out. The runway is open.
Respect the meat shield performance there out of Sphinx. He knew that he was already relatively low. He could absorb at least one shot and trust that Dukes will get the job done. But a massive upset here in match 7 as 3 out of our top 5 teams already eliminated. Thomas HD, Queasy, Trulex, Chicho. Now is your chance to surge upwards.
No.
Majors is solo at the moment inside the zone, but we gotta get the update here from Queasy and Thomas HD.
Own game, just playing things out as if it's any other match. Pretend like all these other teams in the top 5 are still in the lobby, because that's what's gonna give them in the mindset to stay for their best performance.
There's a lot going on right now, given that the zone's starting to develop here. It's not just high ground being held. There's also big names clashing all around us here. Take a look at how Vito jumps in, takes down Paper in the highlight. Possibly then, Victor V back to back. It wasn't over yet. He gets met with a crushing defeat to the hands of Quanti and Go.
The overhead view, doing an excellent job at highlighting. There's practically nowhere left to hide. Everybody is stuck on even ground just about.
Teams that would actually have the heart to go up unless coming into day 2 they decided to shift strategy.
And that was a pretty risky jump forward as well from King and Phaser, because the way that Thomas HD and Queasy have been spraying at other teams, you've got the indication that they likely have an assault rifle, so it's a lot more difficult to make those jumps from the high ground off the floater if is heading towards the front side of the next zone. But Sphinx, Dukes, we saw them shut down our first place team on the leaderboard already here today. They're hoping to see if they can transition this into a victory royale of their own.
Sphinx and Dukes through Elam's hard eyes on the prize right now as Reese trying to slip his way from the storm line into this safety, but unfortunately is going to fall there in 19th place now. Very well within the top 20 here as there's a lot of placement points to be earned. This is a 1.5x multiplier for everyone tuning in right now. These games have significantly more weight than yesterday's rounds. If there's a day you want to perform, it is here and it is now. Queasy and Thomas still working their way. Look at this build. They are willing to commit heavy material, heavy resources to hold high ground.
And what's one of the most impressive aspects of Thomas HD and Queasy's run is that they've been doing all of this without a forecast tower. They are just sheer commitment at this stage. Thomas HD continuing to try and prevent players from getting anywhere near that secondary height even, as Cooper forced to just utilize the medkits, playing from the backside of the storm and zone in general, but only a matter of time before he's spotted out as a solo.
It's a complete shakeup with the teams we're seeing alive right now as well. Bryce and Bolt keeping up the momentum from where they left off in game number 6, carrying it straight into game number 7 now. In the top 10 for Bolts here, where he will have to fight someone on the outside of his own. True Legs and Chicho, meanwhile, just running game here on the mid-ground. Now looking to jump down to low. They have enough mats to do so, cutting off their opponents here. There's a lot of reaction coming here, though. You have Asia on one side of the wall, OCE on the other, fully boxed in now. They have to be careful. There's no way out. True Legs and Chicho might have signed themselves straight back to the lobby accidentally now. Oh no, having to heal here. Chicho gets called out. One false mistake, and it will come back to haunt you here.
But on scope, Queasy, Thomas HD, they can tell Phaser for a moment. He got a glimpse, but he won't actually get a taste of what the high ground is like. Queasy now gonna be the first to drop. He's continuing, he knows he needs a refresh, he wants more material, he can find elimination, if he can play the disturbance factor, he can prevent anyone from having the potential to threaten Thomas HD's current position. Thomas HD, in fact, alongside Queasy, just going to continue to try and secure as many eliminations as possible.
We are witnessing greatness right now as Thomas HD and Queasy are putting on a masterclass from the high ground here. Doing a very good job now, securing elimination, starting to rack up. Queasy will have to get those mats there, has to jump to the tree. He sends Thomas HB down, so we're going to start cutting off the teams here. Completely new duos in the conversation as well. It's Sabru and King and Phaser now, that's all that's left in a clean
2v2.
But the zone pool, Thomas HD and Queasy, they made it to the top of the hill. Phaser's not going to find his way up. Thomas HD. Woo!
That's our second win.
In from the Rift Island.
Viva and Boog are definitely one of those teams as well. They have a lot of high ground. Back on over to Bolts and Bryce though. Finding Agers out here on the rotate. They're very, very important tags given that they are just 40 above the damage threshold. So just a couple moments before that starts to affect everyone here. Big moves coming in though. Once the zone closed, the damage will start to escalate very, very quickly. The later the game goes, the more storm damage it will do per tick of you sitting inside of it. Bolts and Bryce cannot afford to mess around here. They will luckily pull zone to their side, however, they are under the focus of the rest of the lobby. It's not looking good here.
Not only that, but they're also getting battered by these Storm Surge ticks. They need to connect at least one more shot, but they're losing the time to do so because they're having to heal instead. valuable seconds. They could maybe catch some of these other teams that are also late on the rotate, but instead they're forced to deplete all of their shields, hoping that they don't get cracked because that audio cue might just be enough for somebody nearby to try and key them as well.
Yeah, having to force heal all of their resources at this point. Beautiful tags there is going to give them a little moment of relief. And that's exactly what has to be done here. So makes you appreciate having someone like Bolts on your team who can actually hit the shots that matter most. That means someone else on the lobby right now is taking that damage. If they're above, someone is definitely below. So these trades are happening in real time right now.
Given that they were willing to commit to a rather central position inside of this last zone, but Queasy, Thomas, off the launch pad, they're going to be some of the first to touch down in the front side of this next zone, and instantly Queasy trying to see if he can re-establish the height control, same level of success they had in that last lobby. We know that's their game plan, and so is everybody else in this lobby.
I like that though too. He's got a lot of distance to work with, that natural elevation as well, not looking to overcommit given that the zone's gonna pull here. And it was the right call. It's going far south. You know, these are the things you can't really account for. When the zone starts to bounce like this, it makes a big difference. And Vico and Flixie with an excellent early rotate right now, taking advantage of everyone's decision to kind of wait this one out and come up and formulate a strategy. Huddy and Kovacs though below the surge for the first time on the tournament weekend.
And again, keep in mind, this is a duo that hasn't necessarily been struggling with surge, but they've also thankfully managed to find an elimination in the nick of time here. Kovacs gonna put his duo just above 127 now on that damage threshold, but they still got to make this rotate happen. They're trying to build up. They just expended their last underworld dashes, and now the focus coming back their way as they try to scale this hill phase. The armor wall's gonna come out, and Kovacs just seeing if he can remain undetected.
This is so impressive by Chicho and Trulix. Chicho's gonna fall here to the storm with the refresh. It's so unfortunate, but they've managed to really earn their way through this endgame now. Can Trulix get to safety? There's still a long way in front of them. And it's almost bait that there's a zip line there. Don't take that, Trulix. He knows it. He's gonna avoid that at all costs here, going around the sides now. He's safe, but for how long? Top 20 in sight. Meanwhile, on high ground, other teams now starting to set up the zone. Not as brutal this time around, a little bit more of a forgiving rotate here as things are going across. If you have high ground though, you are set up. And Cammy and Seti are one of those teams who are going to be the day 2 comeback.
But they might not even recognize the fact that Flixie and Vico, they managed to get this wraparound flank coming from a much less congested side of the zone, but still, Seti, Cammy, they are due for a comeback, and they've got to go massive here if they want to try and overcome a lot of those shortcomings that happened in day 1. Huddy, Kovacs now getting held at the base of this mountain face. The zone pulls through Mount Olympus just so brutal with all these shifts in the elevation.
Vico and Flixie still alive as well right now, moving their way up, actually utilizing the zip line for a moment there. A little bit cautious though as you want to get to his teammate here. He's on this ramp. There he is. Here comes the heals. They see a player below them, but they can't even afford to stick around. Unfortunately, Flixie misses the jump there. He'll just have to be caught up. Vico takes the build, breaks them all through the zip line there, and now he is crushing his way through. Meanwhile, Bryce coming up behind them, comes back, slams a shot at him. It's not safe at all here inside the top 15.
The zipline trick is not going to work out twice here as Bryce hoping that he can have an opportunity to utilize some of the last bits of that Flowberry Fizz, but again, Cammy, Seti, full control of the high ground, but keep your eyes on Blitz and Meadow. They start ramping up. They might actually be close enough to get within striking range. And Thomas HD Queasy, similar mentality.
This has to be the hardest zone to make your rotate across here. Queasy knows it, beautiful time there, but not enough to stay alive. Thomas HD will make it into the top 10, top 7 now. Vico still standing as well. This is probably the most difficult zone we have ever had at one of these invitationals. At this lane here, it just gets so intense now. But give it a moment here, let things breathe. Vico's found is putting down Thomas, top 5 now. Just moments away
Flex
from
is
a
still in.
potential win for Cammy and Seti now.
Flex.
But the fact is, Nico is collecting up some very needed points as far as overcoming the top 3 inside the leaderboard. He's got the last little bits of his flow rate fist to work with. Now he just needs to unleash. We know what kind of solo clutch potential he has in store. If he can find another elimination or two, that could be the difference. Gonna bring that one home.
Comes out of there with a huge
No!
into things here. It's Pixie.
He
He's
was
still
so
alongside
close.
Jonas. It's a 2v2. They have enough help and just enough material to make this one very interesting. Armored walls now starting to come out. Cammy doing the same here to try to conserve some material. Seti's got a lot to work with, but so many armored walls are going to buy them time, buy them room, right? There's still the clock running here. Nice counterfire now coming up to the high ground. Jonas is exceptionally well in these situations, but it's not looking good. Cammy and Seti are just chopping away now.
Seti even opting for the drop down, but it might not even be necessary. The Polish Pantheon looking to try and take over here. Pixie Yanis scrambling around the low ground, but Pixie falls. Only one remains. Seti's gonna look to find it.
Woo!
Second elimination for Cammy and Seti. Seriousness on their face, given that they know there is a long tournament in front of them. Match number 8 is going to close out, and it's incredible to think that this is a team staying alive here, earning little bits of placement, right? All this does.
Clicks at 8 HP.
Very weak. Almost gets an elimination there. Someone else ends up stealing it, but still, he's in the game right now, holding on.
He's at least got that 33 damage above the threshold. But again, MDM, it's just the odds so fully stacked against him. Any of these next
Was that
builds
correct?
that he crosses over could be his last. Teams could just be waiting for a perfect opportunity to scoop up a free 6 points from the backside of the zone, though. Clicks continue to try and charge through, hoping that he can catch the player off guard. He sees gone. He knows that there's a notch body, but won't be able to power through and push into these boxes with the armored walls going up. Instead, trying to remain concealed, but Boyo, Peterbot, they're gonna find him.
Of course.
Just gone out. It's a fresh opportunity for them to see them close in on somebody else. Beautiful refresh for him and Boyo.
This is starting to look like a 4-way race unless Dukes and Sphinx can get away. They're another top 10 team, of course. But Peterbot and Boyo are cooking right now. And also, they picked up material here. This low ground performance is one to take note of. On the other side, Thomas HD and Queasy are also playing the low ground here, but not so hot looking for them at the moment as they are running out of material. So very different start situations happening here.
They're at least healthy though, and with that Gatekeeper shotgun primed, it only takes one good shot for Thomas HD to find the refresh necessary. They're going to continue to sink in from behind the rest of the foot traffic there, playing from the backside of the zone. Peterbot, Boyo, meanwhile, staying ahead of the pack.
Thomas is
He
not.
has lost Thomas. He's going to opt for the medkit opportunity instead, and with 0 builds remaining, it's all going to boil down to whether or not he can even make it into the zone and stay concealed enough for nobody else to pick him off.
There it is, it's gonna break through the sidewall. This is all been edited. Baka's very weak. White HP, the armor wall comes through. Not worth, of course, pursuing at this moment. He has to focus in on staying in the front side here. No build to work with. Enemy around the backside. Can he get one? 1 point for him. This is huge for Queasy now. Earning points, earning eliminations. He has to stay ahead of Peterbot, who is on the low ground with a down teammate. Peterbot, so much more to work with, however, it's still so close for everyone else. Another med kit is going to start coming out for Queasy.
He's just doing everything he can to survive. Peterbot though gonna pick off Teeny in the process. Queasy finds another into Rapid. Not gonna get a chance though to collect the body loot. Instead, he's scrambling, trying to remain out of sight here. Truants and Chicho. Peterbot grabs him in the end.
That's exactly what he needed as well.
Peterbot, die already.
These points here, finishing off Trulex now, inside of a top 5 situation, up on height. It's Dukes though with Peterbot, looking to fight back. Do not count him out. It is all solo remaining here. Teacher goes down. The next one is down too. Batman Buka sent back to the lobby. 3 players now here. Peterbot looking to 1v1.
1v1.
Can he find Dukes is excellent.
Peter Boy died. Peter Boy died. Peter Boy died.
The high ground hit is good, and he needs to.
No! Boom!
It's pizza ball. He was already going to win that.
You know, they like to say that sometimes
Yo,
people
ladies
like
and
people
gentlemen,
to a false sense of
Lachlan.
security.
Everybody that game?
It's in Fortnite, but now with a guitar.
We used to have that.
We did?
Yeah. Oh, Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I know it's called Guitar Hero.
Yeah, we used to have that game. It was fun.
Congratulations to Moose for winning, and congratulations to the Rook Raiders.
Is that an Xbox?
Do it for him. He couldn't be here with us today, but I was here. He was here with us in spirit, and I did it for him. My best friend aside from me. I gotta feel yet. I don't know, it doesn't even feel real at this point. But it is real because I'm holding a golden guitar. So that's very cool. I couldn't be more happy with how it plays.
I hope we see more competitive events like this in the future. Because man, so many people getting into great music, so many people getting into competition. That's what it's about. I love it.
Well, next time, I'm definitely going to Moosefet walks over his back.
Shout out.
Second place, Sphinx from the low ground, trying to take some chops up onto height. Success as well. Seti and Cammy will be forced to try and pave their way forward. Still looking to maintain a frontside position up this next zone, but Duke Sphinx right behind them, threatening. They're gonna have to push forward as well, though. It's only a matter of time before the two have to clash.
Sphinx and Dukes have turned their focus to high ground here. They want to be up on that podium before the weekend. With another win today.
Seti is already out. Cammy may have been right next to him. Swizzy and Yanko, on the other hand, they're looking to be the ones to try and overtake the low ground. They created so much space, but working through these pre-existing builds, and even the buildings themselves here at Brawler's Battleground is posing so much of an issue because Bryce Bolts in the mid-ground, Pixie as a solo, he's gonna opt for the medkit play as well. Teams falling left and right, and the solos left behind, just hoping that the duos clash into each other.
Jacko and Swizzy, very solid team, doing what they need to. Beautiful tag onto Gyros, puts him down quickly. Teammate falls behind it, and Jacko delivered Pixie right afterwards. And they jump their way up to 8 eliminations in the top 3 now. Bolts is weak, but Bryce is healthy. Sphinx and Dukes waiting their timeout from the high ground, listening to what's happening down low. The medallions in full effect, so they have all the information needed. And they're cutting them off. What an angle from Bryce here to find 1, now 2.
Oh, dang.
Down from Sphinx and Dukes, the call has been made. They're looking to close this game out. And they're a very weakened duo down here.
Dukes
2v2.
He knows that these players have got to be low. Final 3 builds remain. Sphinx right up above the back of the last shot. Dukes waiting to see which hole Bolts tries to scramble out from under. Armored walls to surround himself for the time being.
That's so smart. He's got something to heal with. He actually is trying to survive it. Sphinx was also ready on the high ground, and he has an extra
Heal off, heal off.
It's so close here. Sphinx is running out of heals.
Oh, oh,
In 3, 2,
go!
In the corner.
Laser beam. Laser!
Championship, we just wrapped up game number 10. Only 2 remain before global champions are.
Laser beam! Can you sign my notes up?
Just
1 versus 2 scenario where Peterbot is just making it happen. Thomas HD and Queasy sitting at 8 eliminations already though. Peterbot has another ritual isolated. No re in sight because he's been taken out earlier on. And Peterbot continuing to tarp his way through the low ground. There's a possibility of these two might actually just clash head on.
We have a 2v2 and then all solos in between. One of those solos is, of course, Peterbot. Redman is gonna fall as well, and he just does not stop claiming eliminations at this point. Hugo on the backside of zone. Don't come out, son. It's not gonna go well if you step into Peter's domain. Meanwhile, Toxic D, Queasy, setting up the victory.
Thomas HD Queasy, they know it's Peterbot and Hugo. That's all they have to deal with. But Peterbot gets a huge shot. Could do it. Peterbot with the refresh, continuing to break through on the low ground. He's making the impossible happen.
Queasy versus Hugo up top. Takes him down.
1v1. Come on.
Can easily go anywhere. Peterbot. Can he get the
No! Boom!
All about moments. I think back to the World Cup, the young Argentinian king fighting to push his family's life over, fighting for his destiny. I think back to even earlier yesterday, Swizzy, all the adversity he's faced, fighting up against the best duo in the world, Peter and Poyo 1v2. He did it. I think back to the Invitational 2022. Queasy, Benno against Seti and Cammy to win it all. This game is about moments. Fort Worth, are you ready for a moment?
Woo!
I said, are you ready? This is the moment. Game number 12 starts now.
And it couldn't be said any better. Match 12 is here, and the competition has never been closer.
Absolute chills listening to Levin. But he has a point here, MDF. This game is all about seizing the right moment. Poyo and Peterbot flying in to the raft. Company beside them. But no Queasy and Thomas in sight.
But you do have Denaf the Tinker still here. Peterbot and Poyo will have to make it out of the drop. They will have to make all the way to endgame here to meet Thomas HD and Queasy to run it back one more time. Eliminations are going to be huge here for Poyo and Peterbot as they get to have a chance to open up the point discrepancy.
This is anything but a detriment though as far as Poyo and Peterbot are concerned. Denaf and Tinka nearly helping them tally up an additional 6 points if they're not careful. All the while, Thomas, Queasy, they've just landed touchdown home base here at Research Rock, Brawlers Battleground, and a whole game ahead of them to try.
He's forced onto the back foot, starting to run out of mats now. Armor wall comes out. Things are looking really dicey now for Huddy.
There's only so many ways that Huddy could actually choose to escape from this current position, however, and Skrull recognizes that fact. Skrull's gonna find that final elimination. Huddy and Kovacs have had a phenomenal run, but it's cut short. Poyo Peterbot doing the same currently to Trashy and Threats.
And now, there's no friends in sight. Everyone at the raft must go. Peterbot and Poyo need more points. And they want to start opening up the gap here. Trash is going to be the first to fall now.
That final elimination having been established there for Poyo and Peterbot. We've got a moment to take a quick listen in. Some of our teams.
Wait for the cameras, I'm gonna mark crop, yeah? I just know the streams are going like Is Queasy gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Alright, bro. Let's get it. Fist bump, bro. Fist bump, man. Give me a fist bump, bro. Don't leave me hanging.
He thought about it. He tried to bait us. But no, you know, I do respect the fact Queasy and Thomas HD and their ability to stick to their guns, not be pressured into a decision that can throw their entire opportunity away. They've known that Peterbot and Pollo have not played perfectly today. However, when Peter has been online, when Pollo has been online, it is just incredible to witness clearly the clutches that he's put down today have proven just that.
Even when Pollo hasn't been there, the level of support that he's been able to provide for Peterbot and just fully trusting in his teammate, Peter, to clutch up every single time without...
Tournament cut short now. Watts has to clutch it up. No! Rise has a different story on hand here. Gotta be careful now.
The damage has definitely already been done though by Wax and King. Even if Rise manages to overcome this 1 versus 2 scenario, without his duo, he's gonna have to make a play with the reboot van, and that's gonna cost him so much time. Wax Pin though, they've got other things in mind, and that's continuing their streak here in the final hour. 2 eliminations already, a third party closing in. They've got ample amounts of shield though. What they really need is more white heals and an opportunity to disengage, most importantly of all.
Honestly, from Wax, that was an incredible angle to counter the ramp that was thrown in the box right there. Quick thinking, swift action. It's gonna allow him to win that fight right there. Tinka has to be careful. They may have won an OC.
Potentially could have pushed them out of that position. Jack and Teeny on the other end, they're trying to deal with the likes of Ed and Persa. Nitro drone action only gonna continue to pick up. There's a lot of commotion that both of these duos are making. And they're on the outside of the zone. Granted, they have plenty of time to work with. TD and Jack could also always opt to take this flaming boost to they feel as though this battle isn't worth their time.
Definitely are looking like it's time to get out of here. A couple eliminations, but time to just recoup, bounce back, get the materials, find your way towards the mid-game here. Meanwhile, Bugha falls to the hands of Muzz and Epic Whale, and they are racking up the loot now. Other teams are still here at the Doomstop though. Big rotates coming in, it seems like, from Reed and Ritual. Mapoli and Zoyota as well, just lurking, trying to find an opportunity here to pounce in.
That was a big set of eliminations though that Muzz and Epic Whale managed to find. And the fact that it was on to Avid and Bugha can be crushing when you consider that they had started to surmount the comeback potential, trying to maintain the top 10. Avid unable to get the revive. Respect the commitment, but Muzz and Epic Whale just a little bit too quick on the...
There's time for Squeezy to possibly step up here, but Bach and Pars just gonna back up, play that high ground, play that angle. 4 tags from behind. This is a huge setback now for Queasy here, forced to heal. Loadout looking pretty scrappy as well, given that they don't have big upgraded weaponry, right? They could use a bunker, they could use an elite chest or something. They definitely need something.
They've at least got mats to work with though, and that could be the ultimate difference maker. Rift Island spawning off in the distance. Kashoro, Genki, but it's Pollo and Peterbot that'll be first to the top. Capture point in sight. And with the control of Rift Island nearly underway, Pollo, Peterbot from this position sitting just inside the zone as well. Their next intent likely gonna be to just fully restrict the flow of this lobby.
It's almost easy for them to know where the Rift Island is gonna spawn. They have the forecast tower. They know where the next zone's going. Obviously, the island's gonna be in it, if not extremely close like it is right now, so it makes sense. Pollo and Peterbot are isolated here, and it will be for quite some time. This is, again, probably the weirdest Rift Island we've seen off on the western coast.
And even worse still, it's just a little bit above a weapons bunker as well. with that in mind, Peter Pollo knows teams are going to want to get drawn towards Eldon's bunker, but trouble afoot here for Vico and Blixie, incredibly low. Vico dropping immediately the ultimate low ground. It's a risky play whenever you try and glide in, but Casper, Prism on the other side of these walls, and they are looking for an opportunity to take this team out.
Tegan walks in a fight right now, continuing to keep the lobby down. They want to jump up into those positions, and now they fight their way into fifth here as they're ramping it way online right now. Vico and Flixie, next door to Casper and Prism. Thomas takes a lot of damage.
Breaking down in the
Queasy is
FNCS
crazy.
way.
Sees what's happening here, and a desperate spray and build starts to come out. They're trying to keep them alive, no rubber walls. This is the worst we've seen their loot.
They went for a risky maneuver really early on for what looked like an attempt to intercept Peterbot and Pollo's pathing, but now instead they find themselves caught in the crosshairs, 2 below the damage threshold. Seemingly the first time it feels like this weekend that we've seen this duo truly struggle with their surge management, but just like that, Thomas, HD, Queasy, they find a moment of relief, a chance to breathe here, regenerate their shield as much as possible. But the situation continues to remain dire here for Vico, as he's a solo, no Flixie.
A lot of our top 3 right now in desperate situation for Vico here. What can you do? He's only 47 damage above the threshold. The damage needed starting to rack up here. He knows it, we know it. And now he moves. Goes back to where his teammate was falling. Trying to get a little easy for a fight here. But no! And taken down! And just like that, the tournament run for Thomas, HD, and Queasy come to a close.
No!
And Peterbot effectively survived long enough to be your global champions.
Pollo and Peterbot, they're not even taking a moment to celebrate. It is all business as usual for these two. They want to leave it out with a bang. They're trying to find this last victory royale. Peterbot called it yesterday in interviews on socials. I will get 3 victory royales on the day.
Peterbot's dancing in the box. He knows what just happened. He knows they have done enough.
Yeah.
Hold on, come on. Come on, bro, let's go, baby.
He knows. They know. Pollo can't even hide his smile. Wow. You gotta think about it.
I hope he
Every
does.
single major this year, they have been at the podium top, including the back-to-back coming out of the majors, and then to win the in-person event for the global competition. The interviews that were wrapped up across all of the competitors here pointed in one direction, and that's to Peterbot, that's to Pollo. And they are still showing up in the last game, and they'll very likely win this at this point.
Peterbot is an undisputed best player in the world currently, alongside his duo Pollo. They're still making sure to deal with the lobby as needed, being floated in the water here, but Peterbot and Pollo, second in Major 1, and then the hat trick to conclude the year, first place every single time. What more could you ask for?
And he's got some of the most victories pulled here on the grand final stage. Just keeping it so close as well. Nothing of a perfect performance by any means, but just so far ahead of the rest. Clearly he's a cut above the competition, but for others, there's still a lot to fight for here. As second and third are now out of the game. If Bolts and Bryce pull a big game here, they could very well jump their way up into some significant new prizing and maybe be called the third, maybe the second best team in the world.
They're not the only ones seeking it out either. You've got to keep in mind Trulix and Chicho, Wax and Ping. Also, Sphinx and Dukes had a little bit of a slippage, but everyone is still within striking range, depending on who actually Jasper closes out. Robbie number 12. Bolts with the elimination from afar. It's going to be Papa that falls. Cars now a victim of the surge damage takes as well as the focus of the lobby, and he's taken out.
Bolt's on the move right now, looking to secure that loot. Nicely done for him, but they are barely holding on right now. The surge should turn offline here shortly. However, they still want to find damage just to give him that peace of mind. Meanwhile, Clix is still up, trying to navigate this game. So there's a lot that works here. Bolt's looking around, Bryce looking around. What opportunities are available here? Not many.
The problem is how chaotic these final few moments are about to become. Everyone's got access to this river of sticks. Next to the sword reels, the underworld dashes coming into effect. Teams able to conserve as much material as possible with these vicious rotates, not to mention the aggression avenues that it opens up with being able to immediately dash into somebody else's box. Clone Kramsun even taking full advantage, immediately charging at Seti and Cammy, but it's Chicho and Trulex who are trying to make the difference here. Janet's gonna be taken out. Monarch pistol accuracy on point currently for Chicho.
He's just so good with it. The highlights continue to rack up. Now Chicho and Trulex sitting underneath the box of Sphinx and Dukes, who have the high ground here, but a rotate has to come out. It's a long stretch from here to the new zone. Sphinx is on the move right now. 37 players in the game, 19 duos remaining. Petermont and Boyo still playing the low ground right now. They have eyes on Batman, Boom, and Rapid. They have eyes on Kanata and Cooper. Who will be the next to fall victim to your champions at this point?
Petermont and Boyo are floating through this lobby, quite literally. Secondary height gonna fall. They're still choosing to turn forward, maintaining this front side position. They haven't challenged height just yet. But that scan bound to go out, shoot it out. They know Shadow Virgo directly underneath them. Bryce Bolts now trying to collapse into the same layers, but they realize it's Boyo, it's Petermont underneath us. We've got to escape.
They can't stick around here for too much longer, or it'll be disastrous. And what a storybook finish for Petermont and Boyo 2. They used to be the kings of Grim Gate, let's not forget it. They play very well with the underworld dashes at their disposal. Bolt and Bryce up against Phaser and King now. They are very, very weak. However, the surge is online, and they're taking a lot of damage here.
And Bryce and Bolts fall now. Fox, Pink, Trulex, Chicho, bound to have smiles from cheek to cheek, but the job's not finished. They've got to keep powering through. Same could be said here for Boyo and Petermont. They've already secured the Global Championship, but they don't even care. They still want more.
Still makes you wonder how much harder everyone will need to work. They want to win this one and take it from Petermont and Boyo, because look at what they're doing. They want to close out in strong fashion, and Brazilian duo of El Cursa are standing in their way, and Boyo wants nothing to do with it.
Boyo and Petermont, they know only one player is between themselves and hype. Instead, they will drop momentarily. They already got an elimination. Petermont's still looking for more, though. Armored Ball's gonna cut him off for the time being, but Petermont, Boyo, they find King. Another 6 points added to the tab, and it's not done yet.
They're gonna heal all the way up now. A little bit of mass to work with here too, but they still need a bit more. Still looking for Ed, still looking for Persa, looking to break out the build. And I think they're on the top, but no. They have everything to themselves now, but no material to work with.
Batman, Buddha, and Rapid, they can tell up ahead. Teams pressuring onto their ceilings, but again, Teeny, Jap has already fallen, and Teeny just trying to do what he can to navigate the chaos. He sees Rapid go down. He wants to make his way to the body loop, but he's not going to be able to scurry any longer. Immediately taken out by Boyo.
11 people.
Petermont finds Teeny all the while. Virgo next to fall. And Trulex Chicho just doing what they can to survive.
And look who jumps down once again. Petermont, Boyo finding all these angles onto everyone. Meanwhile, Chicho lurks on the low ground, takes out the immediate competition, securing their third place. Petermont, though, wants the win here. He's looking to take it from Reek. Comes back in a huge shot. Things have to slow down now. Boyo comes up to support his teammate. The scan comes out. They know where everyone's at. The med kit is there as well. Boyo, the perfect partner in crime for what is unfolding here right now. And just a couple of duels are left. They don't have a lot of HP.
Five
Boyo
people
looking to show them
remain.
what he is made of.
Boyo and Peterbot have had so much time now to recuperate what they lost as far as health is concerned. Peterbot's already got one knock on to Trulex. It's just Chicho standing between them at this point.
Yo! Whoa, no.
Everything was for this moment.
Would you please give it everything you've got for the FNCS Global Champions 2024? Bring that trophy because it is very much all yours. Wow, you've done it. The Global Champions for life! Peterbot, I'm going to come to you first. How does it feel to officially confirm Global Champion?
It means the world to me. I mean, we knew we were going to win coming into it, and we're the best duo in the world.
Boyo, the trophy is yours. It has been an incredible year. Tell us exactly what's going through your mind right now as well.
This is amazing. We got second, first major, and then win. Three-peat.
We heard you earlier on the comms say, greatest in the world, baby. Is that what it feels like right now? You've proved it on this main stage.
Yeah, we are the greatest in the world. I will say that, for sure.
It's been an incredible 2024 for you guys. Back-to-back majors, the Global Championship as well. It feels unstoppable. How has your experience been this weekend? Everything play out as you planned? I mean, you came into this with such confidence, Boyo.
Yeah, I think we were going to win. Like, the first few games at the start of this day, didn't go as planned. It ended up working. Yeah.
I'm going to ask as well here, you already pushed the limits there, you came in strong today, a bit more difficult, but you managed to ride through what the experience of this year and those major titles as well. That's really what feels like got you here as well, to confirm officially greatest in the world.
Three-peat. We got a three-peat now.
I'm going to ask one last time as well, for you guys, Boyo, what do you want to say to the fans out there? I mean, Fort Worth, make some noise one more time. The fans there, everyone watching at home. Anything you want to say to them down the camera right now, just say, what do you feel? You and Peterbot right here.
Thank you for everyone being here. My family's here as well. Thank you to them for being here.
Thanks for being here.
One more time, Fort Worth, would you please put your hands together and give it up to your FNCS Global Champion 2024. Gentlemen, take a deep breath.
I don't need a deep breath.
You don't need a deep breath. I love it. Guys, I want you to just bask in that for a moment. You've done it. You set an unbelievable record in Major 2. You back-to-back in Major 3. And then you take it that one step further. A global championship title. Boyo, you said you're here with your family. How does it feel, man, to know You're a global champion. You've worked so hard all year long. Your family is here. NA is here with you. Fort Worth is here with you. Dig deep, tell me, how does it feel?
Look at that money. What
It was amazing. I mean, last year I didn't do like as good as I wanted.
Guys, thank you so much. Grab your trophy, get out of here, go celebrate. We'll take those headsets from you. That's right, go on. One more time, Dickies Arena, let them hear it! Man, Levin, what do we even say? What else could we say about this duo? They have not allowed us to talk about anybody else. We've tried. We have tried. And yet, every step of the way, they have stolen the spotlight. And now they walk away as global champions.
I mean, being closely associated with the NAFNCS throughout the year, there were doubts every single major for this duo to win it. Yeah, the first one they got second, but every single time they proved everybody before teamed up with Moyo. There is something special about the chemistry of this duo.
Come second again, it hurts me, it will hurt them, but props to them for just how good they've been and at least pushing us to the final game. That was something many people would have never expected to happen. So props to them and the rest of the EU.
900 points is crazy.